exclusively for the Radio Infidel Show.
Weaponized weather, climate change, or an act of God. Coincidence or conspiracy? I report the facts, you decide. For the first time in recorded history, we have had 3 Atlantic Category 4 and 5 hurricanes line up in such a devastating way. Harvey, Irma, and now Maria, a Cat 5, making landfall in the same year. If we look around the world, we see that there has been a bizarre pattern of very strange weather. Just in 2016, we saw there was an incredible amount of strange weather events, from active tropics into January, sudden torrential rains of 3 feet, 10 feet of snow in 10 days, double simultaneous tornadoes from hell, flash floods, unprecedented record-breaking heat to the coldest recorded temperatures, and now another second earthquake within weeks in Mexico. The list goes on, and it's not only these events themselves, but the sudden frequency and sporadic nature of them. So what gives? Many are quick to blame global warming, climate change, or whatever the politically correct term of the day may be. Bottom line, the facts do not support the fake science. By now, most of us understand that climate change is really a fight about global control. It is a plot to subjugate the national sovereignty of a country to a single international body, aka the UN or the New World Order, under the guise of controlling emission by taxing carbon. Look, if this really existed, why are the so-called holes in the ozone layer occurring at the poles in winter and not over China and India or the US? Oh, maybe it's the fact that the Earth is tilted on an axis which causes darkness during winter, therefore not producing ozone during that time, as you need sunlight and oxygen to produce the ion called ozone. Or maybe it's the fact that there's no such thing as an ozone layer. So why don't they call it what it is, the ionosphere? Because that would be telling the truth, and we could all prove that the ionosphere is not disappearing. And finally, let's not forget that the Earth is moving away from the sun, not closer. So what the hell is going on with our weather? If it's not an act of God or climate change, what is the truth behind the story? The answer is manufactured weather. Listen closely, as the facts are indisputable. Weaponized weather is the deliberate manipulation of weather, another tool that the elites have in re-engineering the world, and it's devastatingly functionable and easily deniable, a topic that the majority of the public and even our own elected officials are unaware of. It has been well known since the 70s that the US and Russia could start and manipulate hurricanes, typhoons, and turn a clear blue sky into a huge thunderhead that could dump 2 to 3 feet of water in just a few hours. Here's a soundbite from the father of cloud seeding.
My name is Ben Livingston. I'm the first person to ever seed a cloud with the intention to cause it to do military damage. And by putting a small amount of silver iodide in there, we got them to collect and start to build. And as they built, we just worked on the largest tower in the group until in a very short time we had the cloud.
During the Vietnam War, the U.S. used a covert operation known as Operation Popeye, where aircraft sprayed silver iodine crystals to seed the clouds, causing so much rain and mud that the supply chain along the Ho Chi Minh Trail was made ineffective. This chemical weather modification program was conducted from Thailand over Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, sponsored by the Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, and the CIA without authorization of Congress, who had no idea that a program for modifying the weather could be used as a tactical weapon even existed. Eisenhower warned us against this after rebuking the globalists in a meeting.
An opposite danger, that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
But now we have these types of weapons, which were intended for war, being used by the deep state against us, the people. Out of the cloud seeding program came and continued experiments using viruses, mosquitoes, chemicals such as aluminum dioxide, barium salt, and even radioactive isotopes, experimenting on unsuspecting citizens in foreign countries, spreading weaponized mosquitoes with the Zika virus. And now Houston officials warn local residents to use gas masks as C-130s spray a deadly neurotoxin known as Naled to supposedly kill mosquitoes after Hurricane Harvey, but just seemingly to be a slow genocide death for the South. In 1995, the CIA released the virus whooping cough near Tampa, and the list of aerosol crimes is endless. But my research has led me to see a pattern emerge over and over of the deep state using the military not only to manipulate the weather, but to conduct biological and chemical experiments. The cover-up of chemtrails, aka geoengineering, aka stratospheric aerosol spraying, aka global dimming program, is very real and far-reaching. If that wasn't bad enough, there's the infamous HAARP, a little-known Pentagon-sponsored radio physics project that stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Its official stated goal is to expand knowledge about the nature of long-range radio communication and surveillance using an array of antennas in Alaska on the ionosphere. But a 1990 internal document obtained by Popular Science stated the following. HAARP actually does the following. Injects high-frequency radio energy into the ionosphere, creating huge, extremely low frequency to peer beneath the Earth's surface, heating regions of the lower and upper ionosphere to detect stealthy cruise missiles and aircraft, generating extremely low-frequency radio waves in the ionosphere to communicate across large distances with deeply submerged submarines, creating a full global shield that would destroy ballistic missiles by overheating their electronic guidance system as they fly through powerful radio energy fields, distinguishing nuclear warheads from decoys by sensing their elemental composition, and finally and most importantly, manipulating local weather. HAARP can be aimed up or down. It has enough power to trigger hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes by generating millions of watts of extremely low frequency or ELF waves, exciting and subsequently move the jet stream and affect the ionosphere. This technology is even covered under a U.S. patent known as the method of apparatus for altering a region in the Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, and or magnetosphere. Information of HAARP's real purpose came out during the Senate hearing when David Walker, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Science, Technology, and Engineering, dropped a bombshell.
Have finished our work that we're interested in doing up there. We've moving on to other ways of managing the ionosphere, which the HAARP was really designed to do, was to inject energy into the ionosphere, be able to actually control it. And but that work has been completed.
The military has found a new way to create mobile HAARP systems that are rigged on top of mobile platforms, deployable anywhere in the world, including on the oceans. Just 3 units of these mobile HAARP platforms, masquerading as radars, can make hurricanes steerable by a common method known as triangulation. Keep in mind the mysterious sonic attacks in Cuba, as other signals can be piggybacked onto the HAARP signal. Unnatural weather patterns suggest HAARP is still here, and if you're still in denial on manufactured weather, there was a convention in 1978 called Environmental Modification Convention, which not only acknowledged but outlined the weaponization of weather control systems. Yet you ask the average person about this, and they've never heard of this. The media either ignores it and or ridicules it. Occasionally they do cover it, as ABC News reported that China was using weather engineering to clear the skies for the 2008 Olympics. Conclusion: climatic warfare potentially threatens the future of humanity. In a world of weaponized language, politics, agenda, education, migration, social media algorithms, and now weather, every aspect of our life has become an asymmetrical weapon used against us, controlled by a technocracy that spies on us, manipulating us in unthinkable ways. They want us ignorant. They piggyback subliminal messages via TV, radio, and yes, on HAARP, to keep us stupid, scared, and ineffectual. Share this report, as information is a patriot's best weapon against tyranny. That concludes my report.